Welcome to the Cast Blast Grill Chill podcast with Jeremy and Trevor, the podcast that's all about hunting, fishing, grilling, and chilling out and having a good time in the outdoors. Alrighty, Trevor, I've got everything all set up. Let's get ready to rock and roll on this thing.
Alrighty, man. Well, I am 100% excited for the National Forest hunt.
Yeah, you and me both. I've got my convention I'm going to this weekend, and then a half day of work to make sure that my guys haven't burned the shop down and got it all messed up from here to next week, and then ready to go.
Yeah, I know I got 2 piles of stuff that I've kind of gathered and stuck all together, and ready just for that time to come, load it all up in the truck and haul ass out of here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I have all my stuff pretty much. I got to do that Sunday whenever I get back from this wedding I got on Saturday, which is a mild irritant that somebody would schedule a wedding during the opening of North Duck Zone, but what are you going to do?
That's just not right.
Yeah, if I wasn't a groomsman, I'd just be sending a gift and saying,
yeah,
sorry, bud.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that's messed up. But, yeah, so you're going to be around, and I'm going to hand off one of the stands to you because you're going to get out there a day before I am, and so you're going to go ahead and set a stand, and for my dad that's coming along, I'm going to go ahead and get him set up in his spot, and you'll get set up in your spot, and I'll just hike my hang on in that first morning. And
yep, pretty much ready to go, so that'll be good. I'll have your dad in a spot that's nice and easy for him to get to so he can't get lost or confused trying to get in there, and then also with the get everything in there descented and everything. Hopefully we'll be able to get it done and over with, that first morning nice, quick, and easy like.
Yeah, absolutely.
How'd your hog hunting fishing trip go on Saturday?
Well, what I text you about 1 o'clock
p.m.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the middle of the day, and I was just getting bored here at the house, and I was still on call for work, so I was like, man, I can't go deer hunt. I don't have a public land close enough to me to go deer hunt. So I was like, screw it. I'm putting the shotgun and the bow in the truck and my orange, and I'm going to go out and I'm just going to figure out what I want to do on the drive there, kind of make up my mind. It was the last weekend of the first split of the dove season here, and then, it's open for hogs out there for archery. But walked in, just kind of, I decided that I was going to go and try and find some hogs bedded down. Walked into my usual spot that I've been working on, and I guess all the guys that at least I saw 3 hanging feeders on my way in, and 2 hanging feeders and 1 to 2 blinds. And so I guess everybody that drew deer tags, they were in there and got set up and kind of blew all my spots. But I did find I did some more hiking, some more scouting in a different spot. I didn't want to blow up there. It's too bad, leave them a fresh spot to come back to and hopefully shoot a deer. But yeah, I went and did some more scouting, found a beehive, which was cool. Walked up to it and just, real calm and everything, and got a cool picture of it. And, yeah.
Cool. But no fish, no deer, no doves, no hogs, no nothing?
Man, I really wasn't trying too hard for anything. I was just I was bored here at the house. It would have been nice to come home with some meat, but I was just getting out.
Yeah, but you're pretty much just nature walking, but you did see a lot of ducks, right?
I did see a lot of ducks, but only south zone was open, and I was in the north zone, and I wouldn't have been prepared for that anyways. But I did see a bunch of ducks, and I think this is going to be a good duck season.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
I'm really thinking so too. Yeah, I went down to the coast, like I mentioned in the last podcast, because it was going to be too hot to go deer hunt open in General Rifle, in my opinion. So I decided to go to the coast and go get on the ducks, and man, did we get on the ducks. We limited out both Saturday and Sunday, 3-man limits. We hunted the upper Texas coast, in that general area back in a bay. The typical way we always do it, wake up extra early, get there extra early, get everything set up, and then you can relax until legal But I guess for youth season, I guess some guys decided to build a blind in our spot, and we kind of went to war with those guys over that blind. We're hunting the backside of a levee that's, and that levee is on private property. So all we do is just push up into the reeds, into the bay, right up against it and put up the boat blind. We don't ever trespass. We know that that's private property. We've never, stepped foot on that property ever in the past. But I guess they had got some permission and built a blind youth weekend, and they weren't very happy with us when they came up to their blind to hunt their blind, and
Just
we already
set up open in morning, yeah.
yeah, because I mean, where they built their blinds in a good spot, but it's not where I would have necessarily built it. But it's a good spot. But we were gonna hunt, right at the very point of the levee, and their um, blinds like kind of in the middle of that levee.
Hmm.
And we knew if we went and set up where we wanted to set up at the point of that levee, that they would wind up, you know, probably still hunting that blind, and then we'd both mess each other's hunts up, to the nth
Yeah,
degree. So
yeah,
we made the decision to go ahead and set up, right in front of their blind and take their spot. I mean,
yeah,
it's opening weekend, it's public. Granted, your blind is on private, but the lake is public. The lake you're hunting, or the bay, or whatever the heck you want to call that little pothole that's, into the bay.
yeah. And I
You,
mean, but and y'all have scouted that in early teal and even before that, and
yeah,
had that spot in mind, hunted that spot before, and then you come on opening morning and there's a blind erected there. So then it's like, well, we're here first. It is public, so you know, if you want to set up there, set up there. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what we did. The guys came up.
Because
They're
you
like,
you don't know if they're going to come out for sure or not, and
well,
it's
yeah, that's exactly.
don't mess up your own hunt.
Well, that's exactly the conclusion we came to. Is we waited a while before we threw the decoys to see if they were going to come, And I mean, we were amenable to, had that been my blind and I had that permission on that private land, is what I would have done. I would have looked at the three of us, looked at that blind, and looked at the, you know, the guys I was hunting with. Well, that blind's big enough for all of us to hunt. Why don't you guys just pile on the blind? Let's all hunt together. Let's work together, not fight each other. Well, these
Yeah,
guys decided they wanted to fight, so
yeah,
they pretty much immediately called the game warden. I told the guys, I was like, everyone make sure you have your hunt license where it's, readily available, because we're going to get checked
yeah,
this morning, because these guys have already called. I could hear them, on the way out from the blind, already calling. They went and set up on the opposite end of the bay from us, and they had a pretty decent little hunt, over there, and we had a pretty decent hunt. Like I said, we managed to get a 3-man limit between 3 guys. Not as quick as I would have liked, but hey, it wasn't bad. We shot redheads, teals, spoonbills, um, pintails, and I can't remember. No, we shot the ruddy duck on Sunday, not on Saturday. We shot 3 redheads between the 3 of us, 3 pintails. So we got our limit of pintails, and um, a straight spoonies, or shovelers, or neighbor
whatever you
mallards,
want to call
whatever
'em.
whatever you
Yeah,
want to call them, and lots of teal, green wings and blue wings both. But yeah, that, like I said, that was a fun hunt. Went back, cleaned birds, ate, had steak and potatoes for dinner, and hung out, and discussed what our plan for the next day was. We've already scouted that, that little bay or lake, or like I said, whatever you want to call that little spot. I guess it's technically a bay, because it's just like a pothole off of, a major bay.
yeah, but brackish water and
Oh no, it's not even brackish. I'd say it's
it's
pretty
mostly
much
fresh.
no, pretty much all salt.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Wow.
yeah, yeah, but it's it's pushed way. I mean, it's got a little bayou or something that feeds it, so I guess it is technically brackish. But we haven't had a lot of rain here lately, so it's pretty pretty salty. But
Yeah.
it's surrounded by big marsh.
Hmm.
Excuse me for half a second. Um, but yeah, we discussed our plan for the following day, what we were going to do, and we decided that, those guys built that blind. We didn't know it was there. We hadn't been in there since the last week of early teal.
Hmm.
We've hunted there for the past 3 or 4 years, so we know that that spot, traditionally holds birds, all the way up until the end of the first split, till we get a first real big cold snap, and then, most of the teal have gone, and your your bluebills and your redheads and stuff, they like to be out in the middle of the bay and stuff like that. And so from then,
Yeah.
we'll go push out in the big water, and go hunt divers. Um, but so when we get there and we see that blind in the morning, I mean, we're like, well, crud, what do we do that first day? Well, the second day, since we already knew it was there, we'd already planned that, well, we'll let those guys hunt their blind. It's their blind. It's, no big deal. We'll, we'll go hunt, you know, another little pocket, on this same little
Same
bay.
same side, but just another like little
Yeah,
inlet
yeah, we
almost. Another
pushed.
section of reeds and another cut in kind of deal.
Yeah, we pushed 250, 300 yards down,
Yeah.
But I mean,
Still trying to be on that same flyway and where those birds work in, but being nice enough to say, okay, they did build a blind, like let's not get into a fist fight with these guys over,
yeah, there was no.
over and open in a weekend,
Yeah, there was
it's not
no
worth it.
reason going to war with them. I mean, we could have sat right up there back in front of them again, because even though,
Yeah, and I mean they couldn't have done anything about it,
yeah,
but the first morning, like you said, you didn't know it was there. The second morning, y'all are a decent bunch of guys. You moved down a little bit, and
yeah, we let them.
let them have their yeah.
Yeah, we let them have their blind. And I mean, like I said, that Saturday we did get checked by the game warden. The game warden did tell us, it's like, yeah, they built that blind, um, before youth weekend, and they hunted
Hmm.
it youth weekend, and but it's public. You're here first. There's, you boys are all legal.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't step on the property, which we never had any plans of doing that anyway. There's no reason for us to go that way. The birds, fly left to right in front of us there. Birds don't go land back behind us unless something just really strange happens. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was a good deal. The game warden talked to us, talked to them. Um, I don't think they were very happy about it, but I mean, like I said, it's public. Get there earlier. So
Yeah.
we kind of figured the next morning they'd be there earlier. Well, with the time change, we wound up sleeping for an extra hour because we woke up at 2:10, so we slept through 2 o'clock twice.
Yeah.
And LST was an hour earlier. It was 7 whatever it was and 6 whatever it was on Sunday.
Hmm.
And so we still beat those guys in there by an hour. We were already there, decoys all set up, ready to go, everything. When they come, rolling in, and they're all excited. Yeah, we beat them. Woohoo! Yeah. And then about 15 minutes after legal, when we let our first shot ring out, you hear them, "Oh man, how'd they get in here?" And
Yeah.
all this, and
They didn't hear a boat,
yeah, yeah, they didn't
like
hear the
no.
boat come in because we'd already been in there for an hour before they got there.
Yeah, and it's still fun to like if you do that and you're kind of at it with somebody and you sneak into another area, they don't know you're there, to black out the boat and just kind of, oh shit, somebody is right there kind of
Yeah,
deal.
yeah, it definitely surprised them when we let off that first volley of
Yeah.
shots. And
I can't say it's not fun to do when somebody's like, oh, whoa.
well, I mean, like I said, had they been nice about it, like we probably would have gone and hunted a different marsh or a different lake. But we had such a
Yeah.
good hunt, and there were so many birds working that section that it was like, no, we're hunting there tomorrow,
Yeah.
and if we're feeling nice, we're not going to set up right in front of their blind again.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get up early, where now it's not an issue. But we didn't get checked the second day. We killed another limit. Almost all teal. We did kill a ruddy duck, a pintail, and a redhead. But
Hmm.
it was a teal shoot the second day. Oh, and a couple of spoonies.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was a teal shoot. It was fun. It was, birds were working. The one thing that kind of, why I say we went to war with those guys is those guys wound up, in my opinion, intentionally scaring off a group of about 100 snows we had working in. We had 100 snow geese. I mean, feet down, head down, cupped, coming in, and they were just about within our range, and they shot at thin air and spooked them birds off of us.
Yeah.
which is, in my opinion, a total jerk move.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, what are you gonna do? But
I
I
mean, you
mean,
can't you can't at that point, you know.
at that point, we could have chose to, literally go to war. I mean, they were shooting our swings. We would have birds circling our decoys, and they would shoot at them on the swing. Okay, it's public. I've dealt with that for years. I'm not gonna get too upset about that. And they were killing birds. The one thing that really upset me is that they were sky busting. They were educating birds opening weekend, which just irritates me to no end. I mean, they were taking
Yeah.
80-yard shots at birds, 100-yard shots at birds, and I'm like,
Let them come in, man. They're still stupid, you know. They're still dumb. They're still working into decoys really well, and
oh,
like you said, don't educate the birds too early.
yeah. I mean, because we had, we were letting feet practically touch the water before we would shoot at them, unless like that. We had a pair of pintails that we actually peeled off of a group of model ducks,
Hmm.
and they circled us 6 times before they finally, committed.
Hmm.
I mean, but I mean that's pintails. They're weary birds.
And I
They're
mean,
gonna.
they're really really wary about the situation that they're about to put their feet down in the water at. You know,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
really, and I think they do have the best eyesight or close to the best eyesight of
Yeah.
puddle ducks.
Oh yeah, they definitely are up there in the, you know, wary. They'll pick it apart before they come in.
Opposite of a redhead, kind of. You would just
Yeah.
explain it as opposite of a
Yeah,
redhead.
where
Yeah.
a redhead sees ducks and goes to pile in,
Yeah.
a pintail's going to
But
circle it three or
they
four
pile in
times.
with flocks of seagulls, man. They're just like anything that's a bird on the water, working any kind of water, then the
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, there's friends. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good hunt. I'm excited to get out back down to the coast again here in a couple weeks and go do it again. I'm really excited for after the second split when we get
Hmm.
down there and get to go down there to, Port Aransas and go down there and go chase ducks out there on the big water out there.
Yeah.
Um,
That'll be a blast. I mean, there's a ton of blinds out there already. Or we can just, go find some reeds,
yeah, I
whatever
mean,
we want to do.
yeah, we have the boat blinds, and then our buddy that hunts down there frequently, he's got a bunch of spots down there already that he knows. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and I showed him where that house that we're going to stay in is, and
Cool.
he's like, "Oh yeah, I know a bunch of places around there that are real good." So I'm excited
Great.
to go down there because I've never been down that far. I've been
Down the
down.
coast, that side of the
I've
coast. I think it'll be a good late season coast spot
Oh yeah,
down that far.
oh yeah, it's always good. I know a lot of guys that go down there and hunt. I've just never done it because I've never really had a place to stay. I went down there for a wedding during, I guess it was probably the last weekend of the first split, and guys were down there just hammering ducks. And I was talking to the guys,
Who
so
are
I've
these people in your life that keep putting weddings in? I don't
people
understand, man.
people that don't hunt, man. I have a lot of friends that are like computer people and they don't hunt and they just don't understand that like November and December you just don't plan like things,
Yeah,
anything.
anything. You plan to go duck hunt.
You plan to go duck hunt, you plan to go deer hunt, you plan to
Yeah,
go hunt from the
yeah.
first of through the first of September through
Anything
the
but
end of January.
anything but lock a weekend down in those months.
Yeah, I mean it's bad
Uh,
enough I got
yeah.
this convention I've got to go to for work, but I mean,
Yeah, what can you do for work though?
yeah,
That's unavoidable.
yeah, I mean it's work, but I mean, that'll be a good time, and I'll get wined and dined and
Hmm.
everything else while I'm there, so that'll be a good time. And plus, that's during the week.
Yeah,
That's Monday and
yeah,
Tuesday.
absolutely. Yeah. Um, Only thing I got going on, besides getting ready for the upcoming rut hunt out there in the national forest, my boat's going to be under construction this evening. Building a lighter weight frame deck for the front of I got a small flat bottom boat for the listeners. And so I had a big heavy deck on it, and I'm kind of rearranging everything and lightening up the load. Gonna do a repower on it to max out the motor that I can put on that John boat. It's just not fast enough for me right now, and I mean, it just putts along basically as it is right now. So I'm building an aluminum frame for a deck on the front. Deck's gonna be about half the size as it was before, and probably a quarter of the weight.
And it's also going
So
to have underdeck storage before, where the only storage before was like through that
you
little
gotta
hatch.
yeah, and you gotta dig for it and everything. So yeah, it'll be nice. It's gonna be much more effective that way. Um, so yeah, I think it'll work out a lot better. I'm gonna do some. I plan on doing some just cheap like spray paint, spray and bed liner in the
Yeah.
inside to kind of quiet it down for fishing later on. Next spring, um, when the crappie start going again, the white bass runs on. I just want to quiet it down on being an aluminum boat, um, and just messing with um, some wiring issues and stuff like that. Cleaning everything up, and I hope to get everything done before I go out duck hunting for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I hope you do too, because shortly after that, we'll be getting finally hooked up to go duck hunt this year. It feels kind of weird this year that me and you haven't had a chance to hook up and go duck hunt. I mean, generally we've at least
Yeah, it feels weird.
done one early teal hunt, and this will be the first year in like 5 years that we haven't gone to go duck hunt over Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be weird. That was kind of our tradition. It still is, but just gonna have to skip a year on this one.
Yeah, the
Um,
the ability to go tip over a bunch of deer in Arkansas just
yeah,
it just
yeah.
outweighs the
The crowded public lands lake duck hunt with a million people with all their new toys and
oh,
racing and maybe possibly sleeping on the boat to get into a half decent spot that you might
yeah,
kill a limit on maybe.
maybe. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's always the fun thing about that, and we'll definitely have our annual after
I
Christmas
like
duck
doing
hunt.
that, man.
Yeah,
I like the competition of being first in line.
man.
Like I get excited when you're talking about that entire story just because I like racing people and I like winning,
Oh
being the
yeah,
first one
oh
there.
yeah.
So
We don't get beat. Like if we
yeah,
get
I
if
just
we get
it
beat, we're waking up 2 hours earlier the next day, and
yeah.
we're like, all right, fine.
I'm not afraid to sleep on a boat. Like I'm
Yeah,
not afraid to sleep on a John boat in my waders and have my decoys out at 11 p.m. the night before,
you've done it.
and I'm
You've
just
done it
sitting
multiple
there.
times.
I
Oh,
did it
well,
last
I
year,
mean,
but
what was the one year? I guess it's like 3 years ago where like us and the guy that we hunt with, and there was the other guy that just seemed like every weekend it was 10 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier, an hour earlier.
until he decided to sleep on the boat, him and his buddy decided to sleep on the boat,
Yeah,
and
and then that guy
yeah,
just kind of gave up and
and
went
he
go
he
hunt
gave up
elsewhere.
and he just decided to go another spot. Yeah, but yeah, man. Another thing that's going on tonight, the Yeti flagship store here in Austin.
Uh huh.
They are doing a watch party for Sitka's new film, A Place of Peace.
Oh yeah, I
And
saw the
so,
trailer for
yeah,
that
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. So they're doing a watch party down at the flagship store. They're gonna have barbecue and drinks and all kinds of stuff. So I'm thinking about going down there. I think it starts at 6.
Yeah, you should definitely try and get down there for it because I mean that's real
Yeah,
close to you.
let's see. Yeah, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So yeah, I mean, free barbecue, hang out, get to watch the. I think they're gonna have an extended version of the trailer. They're gonna show a little bit more, like a director's cut kind of deal.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I think that'll be cool, man. Plus Yeti flagship store, can't go
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly.
Cool, man.
Well, alrighty. Well, let's wrap this up. Everyone, stay tuned. We'll have another podcast coming out sometime next week. We're gonna record one. Actually gonna do it this time from the National Forest. We're gonna set up the iPhone and stuff, so it'll be done a little differently, but it'll be around a campfire, sitting around discussing. We'll probably try and do it Saturday evening after
Yeah,
the hunt,
what we've been
and
seeing, what we expect, and how it's been.
yeah, and break down how it's gone. Until then,
Yeah,
guys, go ahead, Trevor.
yeah. If y'all could, man, take a second, go give us a rating of any kind on wherever you listen to this. Subscribe, give us a rating. I'd
Definitely, it'd
really
help us out a
appreciate
lot.
it.
We'd
Help
appreciate it.
us out
Yeah.
a lot. All right, thanks, guys.
Alrighty, guys, appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.